been a long time coming, but finally our friends across the Irish Sea have joined the party and we have season 1 of the Traitors Ireland. I was eagerly anticipating it and was surprised it took Ireland this long to have its first season. The location for Ireland's entry into the Traitors verse is Slane Castle and is hosted by Siobhan McSweeney. My knowledge of Siobhan was through her role on the Derry Girls. I was intrigued to see how she would fare as a presenter and what angle she would take in this position. Would Siobhan be completely serious or play in between serious and comedic?
I now have one final important question to ask you. Would you like a cup of tea?
24 players embarked on Slane Castle with Siobhan standing outside to greet them. Coming into this season, I wondered what missions from the other versions would production repeat and what would they come up with themselves to stand out from the rest. It would be a good opportunity to not be too predictable to those who had seen other versions. The missions are the one thing the shows have the opportunity to move away from the rest, unless it's written that they must do certain missions regardless. It didn't take long for a familiar moment to happen, as barely a few minutes in, we had our first repeated element. While still outside the castle, Siobhan asked the group to choose the most trustworthy person. Not sure how one comes to that decision based on a couple of minutes outside with the whole group, on top of the time shared with a small amount of people in the same car. A choice was made and it was Andrew who was chosen as the most trustworthy of the group. No surprise to hear there was an ulterior motive for this little task, as Siobhan asked Andrew to pick 3 people who he thought looked the least trustworthy. Andrew chose David, John and Gemma. Funny that Andrew had chosen David because he was one of the people who initially chose Andrew as trustworthy. The real motive for all of this was unearthed when Siobhan then told Andrew to pick 2 from the 3 to leave the castle immediately. An unfortunate position he found himself in, making that decision with people you barely know, unless you're a cutthroat character who is relishing the idea of possibly being picked by Siobhan to be a traitor. Andrew chose John and Gemma to instantly leave. Something tells me we won't be seeing the last of them. It's not just because I've seen this played out many times, but also it seems obvious that John and Gemma will return at some point in the next couple of episodes. I mean, it's apparently in the rules that one can only be eliminated if they're banished or murdered, as I've heard many hosts say. The temporary exits have been played out too many times, even if the scenario is slightly changed. Going into this first episode, it was my hope that this element would not make its way to the Emerald Isle. So the initial 24 players became 22 and Siobhan was geared up to pick her traitors. Eamon, Caitlin and Paudy were the chosen 3. Interesting choice to make both a police officer and an ex-prison guard a traitor. The players' first official mission was another previously known mission, rolling barrels of various sizes and various prize money, a test of strength and stamina. I won't repeat myself about recycle missions, I guess this is new to someone out there. One moment of hilarity was when a few of them kept shouting random times at each other, thinking they didn't have enough time left, even going as far to tell others to leave the barrels where they were so they could return in time, but it turned out they still had 15 minutes left. In the end, it did come to a point where they did stop going after the barrels, choosing to get the amount already collected and not risking it all by going for more. They might not have collected all the barrels, even though they had time to spare, but the players ended up banking €4,800 for the prize pot. Amongst the players, we have the usual white lies of people being economical with the truth about their job. Then we have something that's become a regular thing across the franchises, players with an existing connection to each other. This one had a slightly different twist to the others. Paudy and Andrew are father and son, the twist being that they didn't even know the other was going to be on the show, as they didn't even tell each other. This will be something to keep an eye on given their opposing roles. Dave, Michelle and Mark were the potential names thrown around as the traitor's first victim. In the discussions, Andrew's name was mentioned, and it'll be interesting to see how Paudy plays things if Andrew's name comes up again. It's always interesting to see the first set of suspicions going around, so I was impressed with the conversation in the car back from the mission that involved Vanessa, Mark and Nick, with Paudy and Eamon amongst the list of names that they suspected. Going on first impressions of the 3 traitors, I wouldn't be surprised if Caitlin goes further than the other 2 initial traitors, unless they turn on her. A key thing would be if Mark survives the night. I think he could have the potential to lead the votes against Eamon, I don't think Vanessa would have as much currency to lead one against Paulie because she's already suspected by some of the other faithfuls. There is a small potential for the faithfuls to get a traitor banished on the first round table, but something in me thinks it might be a couple of rounds before that happens. It was a steady opening, but there seemed to be one or two people that I would have forgotten were even on the show if I didn't have a list of all their names. To me, this boils down to the edit. Let's hope they're featured a bit more and it's not a case of someone actually being edited out of the show on purpose. Keep an eye out for my upcoming videos on the Traitors Ireland Season 1 as I'll be covering it all. Until next time.